Woo! It's showtime! Woo!
Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about pretty much one of the things that has affected Dokkan in terms of testing out units, seeing what they can actually do and everything, but also that stuff has been talked about on social media, which I'm on Reddit right now, and it's SAFETYNET. Now, this thing has been implemented before, but it's only been on iOS devices, but it seems like, based on what I've read before, this is more for Android, is what I'm guessing, but for sure, let's just go over this now. If you guys don't know what this is going to be talking about, this is basically talking about, what is it? Dokkan making some changes and everything, plus the SAFETYNET feature, which it's not a feature, it's actually a piece of code. So if you guys don't know what SAFETYNET is, it's basically just a piece of code or auto detection code that allows servers from Google to look at and auto identify the devices that are used within that specific device, whether if it's a rooted device or an unrooted device. It'll auto detect to see if that person uses that specific device or if they're using an emulator. Plus, they're also allowed to see if they're actually playing the modded version or the real or the official version of the game. That's what SAFETYNET. That's what basically SAFETYNET is. It's basically an auto detection program that allows users to that allows people like Bandai to actually look at if we're actually cheating or not. Even though Dokkan is more of a PvE game than a PvP game per se. But this post was actually posted by Thieving6, who's actually one of the data miners and the developers of the UNIDOKKAN. And it seems like he has everything down here, so let's just go over it. So, because of 4.12, they did a number of things to stop people from changing the way they play Dokkan. I said SAFETYNET, as you guys know, it's a way that they can identify players and see if they're cheating or on a rooted device or an emulator. They've also added a certificate pinning, which basically allows the data to be sent between the game and the game servers, so that it can't be modified by a third party. These pinnings allow the game developers to be confident that the game isn't being tricked. That's where UNIDOKKAN comes in, and I think, like I said before, this has been put into iOS before. The reason why they don't do it on iOS is because they've already done it already, and they think that this is probably one of the more approachable ways. I'm not sure why they didn't do this before, but I can see why they're doing it now. Yeah, like I said, pinning is a way for game developers to be confident that the game isn't being tricked. I believe that is the change injection that Hydros developed. That's gonna suck. Or probably some of the other mods that players have developed, but that's gonna suck. Because what Hydros has done and what everyone has done is they wanted to make it so that it's fun for the community to try out. No, I guess they don't like that. That sucks, but I guess they knew it was probably going to happen anyways. They also changed the encryption key for quest and event data that gets sent, which I'm guessing it means that even if you're using a third-party even if you're using third-party modified data, they'll actually see what you're doing. Like, they'll actually see the characters that you're actually using, and they'll probably see which event you're doing, no matter if it's Super Battle Road or a Dokkan event or whatever, they'll see it. It's not like before where if you actually went to Super Battle Road in the change injection using TRIDENT mobile and you do Super Battle Road and you get banned. This is actually much more, I'm pretty sure, it's just going to be much more impactful. That's the reason why. Yeah, they could still remove it. They're not really too much of an issue, but it's going to be an issue. It's probably going to be, but that's just how it is, really. But it really isn't. The first item, safety net, is what makes the changes stick. Yeah. Okay. So I've seen this before when I changed my main account, when I put my main account onto my device. So what happens is they actually did put some sort of what's it? Identify yourself as a robot thing. That's what they're doing with safety net as well. So this is what happens when you play Dokkan. You start the game. At a certain point, you go to the title screen. Its game starts to an assign-in process. The app will ask safety net to gather info about your mobile device, and it'll send that information to Google servers. It's the same thing for iOS users. So the app will ask for safety net. They'll send the information from your iOS device and send it over to Apple servers. It's the same thing for Android as well. Google servers will analyze and send it back with an attestation response, which basically gives them the timestamp, the type, the user ID, the package name. If that package name is the same as the official servers, then this app is the real deal. That's all it says. That's pretty much it. This also gets sent to the servers. Oh my goodness, this information gets sent to Dokkan servers. Okay, so I knew it. So this is basically one of the things I was talking about, the identification program. This is the auto detection program. This is what I was talking about. So basically what this will do is this will give them the name of the device, the type of device, the version, and the platform. And I know it's gonna be the same thing for iOS because I've seen it before. I didn't get banned, by the way, but still, it's very important to consider that they all see this, and if they could see this, they could see emulator devices as well, like Nox or BlueStacks. That's pretty much what I'm seeing right here. Dokkan servers will validate the attestation response to make sure it came from Google. You can't forge this. Yeah, you really can't. Unless the programmers actually change something within the attestation response or the auto detect or the safety net program, then or the code, then really you can't do much about it. Usually they'll respond with yes you can play or no you can't play. That's basically how it works. If you're on a rooted device or emulator device or a modded app, they won't let you play it. They won't. But if it's a real deal, then they can let you play. Just to be clear, if the Dokkan server doesn't like what it received, it can do one of these things. Not allow you to play, ban your account, ban your device. Oh. Mark your account for a later ban wave. Okay. So I'm pretty sure, since I'm going to assume that maybe, hold on. I am sure that this celebration has the Raditz EZA in here, does it? If it has a Raditz EZA in here, that means there's a world tournament coming up soon. And I was right. Raditz EZA. Ay. That means there's a world tournament coming up soon. Part 2. And you all know what that means. Oh man. That means after the world tournament, there's going to be a ban wave. So if you see a ban wave, this is what happened. This is what basically happened. Either if they don't do any of these, then it's nothing. Then they do nothing, which is pretty much one of the which is probably one of the least likely outcomes to happen. Because Bandai is pretty much a powerful company with pretty much a powerful programming system. So I'm guessing that they're not gonna do just nothing. Not until all the top 4 have been checked out. That's all I'm gonna say. But it kind of sucks, really. But let's just keep going. Dokkan is currently doing nothing at the point, which is kind of scary, really. Because if you're doing nothing, that means they're planning on doing something involving this safety net feature or safety net code that's in there. Even if you send no device token when you log in, or you send an invalid one or non-passing one, they're going to I have a few guesses on what they're doing. So they're either they haven't completed the validation programming for the attestation response, which makes sense. They're collecting the list of accounts that are not sending a valid attestation response for reasons, aka a later ban wave. Whew. That's not fun. They are collecting info on how much money modded APK users spent to determine a future course of action. Modding group doesn't spend money equals ban. Modding groups generally spends money equals ignore. That makes sense, honestly. What does this have to do with UniDokkan? Well, the sad thing is they're not going to update it. They're not going to update UniDokkan for JP, but they will continue it for global. Unless they add this. Which I'll tell you right after I read this entire thing, but there is a good and bad thing about it. For those who have not linked their accounts ahead of time, just follow the instructions. It's not that hard. All you have to do really is, if you're on Android, you just need to update it. That's it. You just need to update it. Just follow these instructions and you're probably good to go. But if you're on iOS, I think it's a little different. But for sure, they do have their own safety net, a way for them to check if yeah, like I said, iOS has its own safety net version of safety net. So basically, they could just check the same way that Android's gonna be doing later on in the future. But I'm not really sure. But here's what I'm thinking about the future of UniDokkan, because I've used UniDokkan for the past, like, I don't know, 6 months now, and it's fun, by the way. It kind of sucks to see it go away so quickly for the past few years, and I really enjoyed it, but we'll have to see later on in the future if anything does get changed, if there's a possible way for UniDokkan to come back, or if anything really. I would love to test units again, but for now, I think this is a more approachable way. There are good and bad things about it. The good thing is, the good thing about SafetyNet, in terms of what's happening right now, is it'll probably detect modders and cheaters for the World Tournament, which really no one's gonna do. And this will also detect people who are cheating through various events that are supposed to be really hard, like Extreme Super Battle Road or any other event. The bad thing about this, in terms of the community, is probably the fact that we won't get to have fun testing out units, determining if these units are really good or really bad, or if banners should be skippable. And this will probably determine that for sure, but I really want to see what's gonna happen in the future. But for now, I think that's pretty much everything. But big shout out to Thieving6 for developing UniDokkan. Big shout out to Hydros for doing the injection change, and big shout out to all the patch developers for making Trident and UniDokkan fun and very resourceful for content creators and to Dokkan players just like me. And honestly, I feel like this is a really sad time for it to go away, but in the future, if this ever does come back, I'll jump back in. Trust me. But there is still going to be Rainbow Showcases, just to be clear. But we'll have to see for now. But that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below on your thoughts on the safety net and the future of Dokkan 4.12 and all that stuff. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do so. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next one.